Let's take a look. Verify that the episode's starting up. Because of that, I can't really do my intro like I usually plan to. Come on, YouTube.
We're live.
We're live.
We are now in the we are now at the crossroads of destiny. We have a representative from each nation. Hello, everybody. Bugz2Men is back. Sorry, we were supposed to be back 2 weeks ago or last week, but I had to go do bachelor party things, and I had to go adult. And
Gary, my intro, man, you just like threw over my intro. It's fine. He's hooked up.
Hooked up.
Yeah. So what is up, my bros? We are finally back with another episode of Bugz2Men. This time we are being the one. That actually makes no sense. We are talking about Kamen Rider Bill today with our special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir? Before we introduce ourselves, because everybody knows us already.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Hi. How are you doing today? This is Vaughn, Mr. Cooper 92 on Twitter and everywhere else. Sometimes on TikTok, maybe, I'm not sure. But yes, I'm here. Hello, welcome. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me here.
You're very welcome. So we're here to discuss Kamen Rider X8, right?
That's next week.
Right. I gotta finish that.
Gary, we schedule these things out like months in advance.
I know. I'm busy.
You're very excited about it.
I am very excited about it.
Oh man, so like we'll talk after the episode. I had an idea for with the songs for that, but yeah, like we mentioned, guys, this is an episode talking about Kamen Rider Build, the 19th entry of the Heisei era. As you know, we are going backwards in our discussion. So as we mentioned, next week will be X8. Then on the 30th will be, because we're skipping a week to talk about PulseCon, and then on the 30th we'll be talking about Kamen Rider Ghost. We have a full lineup for that. I'm still trying to work out the thing for X8. But yeah, this episode is about Kamen Rider Build. So obviously, Build follows the adventures of Sento, Kiryu Sento, and his group of friends in a kind of, would you guys describe it as kind of like post-apocalyptic or kind of a societal like divide version of Japan, like alternate?
I'll probably say more alternate universe, especially since it's still current day in a storyline. So
yeah,
like different world, different universe, and they also explain that there's different worlds as well. So it's an alternate universe.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say that. I kind of equate it more or less like Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds also, because in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, for those of you guys who don't know, there was like the satellite sector, which was like where like the lowest of the low live, and then you have like New Download City or New Download City, depending on which dub you watch, and that's where like all the rich people live and like all like the best duelists in the country in the country live. Oh, Brokasatsu's here. What's up, Brokasatsu? How you doing?
Brokasatsu, yeah, he's wearing the Vaughn jacket.
I am. No, I am wearing the Vaughn jacket.
Tell the story, Vaughn. Tell the story about the jacket.
So, funny story about this jacket is that the year before Build got announced, I actually bought this jacket the year before. So pretty much I had it all 2017. It was a PacSun jacket. So I bought it. And the next thing you know, Build got announced and they showed Bandra Yuga. And I'm like, oh, hey, I got that jacket. I'm like, I found me easy cosplay already. So
nice. Yeah. So
5-year jacket now.
I'm jealous.
It's your jacket now.
It's my jacket. It is a Vaughn jacket.
Okay, let me see if I can just go ahead and share the screen real quick. Just at the Build poster. For those that aren't aware, this is the Kamen Rider we're talking about today. Kamen Rider Build, and of course, Vaughn just talked about Cross. Everybody was thinking, like, is it Cross Z? Is it Close? Is it
Close?
But yeah, it's been revealed to be Cross Z. But yeah, Kamen Rider Build.
It's actually Kamen Rider T-shirt.
that $40 T-shirt, that $30. Oh my god, it's so dirty.
It just turned out that like for every single shot of that episode, they just had him wear like the same colored shirt, and so whenever he got dirty, they would just take it off and then put it on the market.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So obviously, as we kind of mentioned, Kamen Rider Build came after Kamen Rider X8, so it was kind of going from everybody was like, "Oh, video games!" To wow, this is like, the first impressions that a lot of people kind of had was that like, okay, he's like a kind of a mixed rider type deal, like Double was, but he's like diagonal. Like, what's the whole deal with that? Especially with with this motive, Rabbit and Tank, or his main forms. So, guys, when you first saw Kamen Rider Build, obviously, like I said, we just came off the XA when Build was announced. What did you guys have for your first thoughts? Just based on appearance, like, just looking at this poster.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember 4 years ago.
I think I remember. I definitely remember because I don't think this was the first form that got leaked. I'm not sure. I think it was like a different form. Like, was it something Hedgehog? Maybe, I'm not sure. But when I first saw this, I'm like, this is a beautiful suit. Like the red, the blue, two of my favorite colors. I'm like, this is nice and sleek. And then pretty much just seeing everything and just seeing the aesthetic, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I just want to know how those bottles work.
I think I was kind of put off by the look of the suit only because I'm gonna use like one uniform color, kind of like Blade with like silver and then blue. I didn't like the fact that the blue and the red like meshed together. If like, yeah, kind of like what Ron's doing.
Best match. Yeah, so like I think it's the asymmetry that kind of threw people off. Like you said, more symmetrical riders. I mean, like, well, we had, like I said, we had just came off of XA and he wasn't symmetrical that much because he obviously the different lines on him. Ghost beforehand though, he was like fully symmetrical. Same with Drive had the diagonal tire.
Yeah.
And then Gaim was, just the only thing about him was just how his holders were on his side of his hip. So I think it's the asymmetry that kind of threw people off. But yeah, the colors though, the color scheme, the red, the blue, and then the black undersuit. Like I think that really fit well, especially with incorporating the yellow belt around. Because typically, with Kamen Rider belts, we see like the belt piece is either black or silver. And the only difference is there was kind of like, Ghost had an orange one and Drive had a red one, but then, Drive's was kind of fitting because, the whole seatbelt motif, and then for Ghost, because of his color scheme. But yeah, with the yellow, kind of really worked out. And then, obviously behind this poster, behind him on this poster, we do see like a little preview of Cross. From what we saw, like, because like it looks like, when you look at him compared to Build, it looks like he's kind of more symmetrical. But then when you look at his actual full suit, he still has a asymmetry on his legs, and like on one of his gauntlets, it has the kind of the gold or the like the orangey gold trim for like the dragon thing. But yeah, this was honestly very intriguing too, because we kind of saw, like in this promo picture, we see kind of like the little markings of which best match goes with which one. Yeah, like you kind of can make out that this is Gorilla and Diamond. This obviously doesn't really look like. Oh, this is Sochiki, isn't it? The vacuum.
I think it is.
So.
And then we have a Hadanezumi Hedgehog right up here. So yeah, it's like it was a really good like show. Kind of first impressions and the whole premise of it. Like Japan is divided into 3 nations. Gary's like talking about like Yu-Gi-Oh. Made me think of like Avatar. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Saito was the aggressor and all this, but
what's funny? I didn't make that parallel until just now. I'm like, that's genius. See what I did there?
Oh, I saw it. Oh man.
Your pun, Gary. Your pun. Your unintentional pun. But yeah, speaking of genius, I mean, the whole characterization of Sento he's a genius, like with no memory. So
I do now. I'm gonna preface this by saying I love Build. Build is my second favorite rider because my first will always be Blade. But that's one thing I'm kind of getting tired of in Rider, just in general. I was kind of getting tired of the whole, I'm an amnesia, I can't remember anything.
Well, I mean,
he would think he was the second one because first we had Agito,
and then technically Philip.
Philip, yes.
And then who else of a main rider? that we kind of had the amnesia for. Yeah, I would actually say that. Yeah, Sento would actually be more of the
Third,
the
two and a
third
half.
character.
I
Two and
haven't watched all of Drive.
two and a
What
half,
about
yeah.
Shinosuke?
No, he has all of his memories. He's good. Same with Takaru. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
well, besides the whole dying thing, but yeah, like of amnesiac writers, I think that Sento is really only the, like Vaughn said, second and a half writer after Philip, because Forze had his memory, Hacho had his memory, Gaim had his memory, Drive had his memory. Yep. So just
Saber.
Decade.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't have his memory.
Yeah, because he didn't. So
the
kid. We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, the whole premise of him, like kind of having his memory and kind of going along, building these relationships,
and then turning to support. Yep.
And then we had Banjo Yuga. Here, let me just switch to the next pick, which is nope, that's not it. That's not it either. Oh wait, I took it out. I forgot. I took it out. Stupid Bing. I don't know why I have Bing on here.
Don't worry, it's me. I'm Banjo, so you're fine.
Yeah, but obviously you see we have our core cast of writers, at least, of the different nations. We have Sento and Banjo within Toto. We have Kazumi, aka Kamen Rider Grease, from Hokuto, and then we have Rogue from Seito. When it came to the series, we know that Sento was the one who originally created kind of the rider powers with the build driver, and then I forget. It's been so long since I watched it. Did Banjo use Sento's build driver, or did Sento make a second build driver for his first transformation?
He built a second one.
I think the first time, though, for some reason, Ryuga used the Sento's build driver, and I think after that, Sento was like, "Here, I'm just gonna replicate it."
Yeah, I think he gave. I want to say he gave it to Banjo. Then he made a second one for himself, and then or no, I think he made because he made two of them, and I know that he made the first Splash driver. So
yeah. So yeah, I would just say Sento as this technological genius, he's employed by the government of Toto. Forget his first name, but Gentoku's father, Himuro, is basically has him under his employ to kind of help with what's going on, because they have the Guardian system, which is these these autonomous robots that kind of just go around. But then you have the threats of Hokuto and Seito, these different nations, because they're kind of all divided in their own way of how they manage things. Like Seito is more of a militaristic kind of deal. And then you have Hokuto, which is a little more lax, but also kind of has their own, basically each of the divided nations have their own military power, their own. Hey Matt, what's up, man?
What's going on, Matt?
Oh shit! Who woke him up? Hi, buddy.
What do you mean? Who woke him up? He's on the same coast you are. If anything, why am I awake? It's a Saturday. But yeah, so we have the different nations, obviously. So Sento in the first episode, we're kind of introduced with him, his little quirks, his whenever he has a good genius idea, his little hair thing flips up for some reason that really doesn't get explained. Although it's on the side for his rabbit side, so it kind of I guess it's the rabbit ear.
Yeah.
And then he ends up running into Banjo Yuga, who happens to be framed for murder. Isn't that the whole idea of Banjo?
Yeah. Yes,
the first episode.
That's what happened. And then he escaped, and Sento's like, "Yeah, I believe you." He got on the bike, and by the way, I just want to say one thing. I've been pretty hit or miss on rider bikes since, Ghost, because I drink to forget Ghost.
Kamen Rider has kind of become the rider portion has kind of been a little bit archaic, because they have rider machines, but they don't use them as often as they should.
They don't know they got machines. They don't know. They forget about them.
Let me run this distance and get to that location. Why didn't you ride your bike? What's a bike? I mean, to be fair, most of these riders in current series, they either have flight powers or super speed. So
I mean,
do they really need the bike?
To be fair, also, like what I was going to say is my original point was, I really like how the phone turns into the bike. I know that's been done for a bunch of riders as of late, especially 01 and I think Saber did too. I kind of stopped watching Saber after like episode 30.
Saber's was a book, but
yeah, but like he has to shake up the line full bottle, put it in, and then the bike just transforms. I dig that, and I love the whole look of it.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing though is that was the only way that you can get the SHF version of the Bill's weapon. And,
really?
Yeah. So Build was like the start of the pack down with only the basic that you need. So like the fists, the pose, the those hands, but nothing else. And then you have to get the accessory afterward. So that's why I'm like really happy that Saber did include at least the big Seiken, but in order to get the small Seiken for Saber, you'd have to get blades as well because he has both Saber and blades is a smaller in the belt Seiken. Mm-hmm. But then Espada and Caliber doesn't have one, but Espada then has his own tiny one though. But yeah, that's the unfortunate thing when it came to the toy releases for this stuff. But the full models were like they're a fun gimmick too. They're just.
You make me want to get mine right now. Please stop it.
I wish I had a full
I mean, you know what's behind me, so. But yeah, so like Banjo, Sento saves him from the monsters who are known as Smashes, which are formed by kind of these their own like kind of bottles that are powered by what they're calling the nebula gas. Because the whole reason why we're kind of in this divide is because of a certain astronaut going into space and taking Pandora's freaking box off of Mars and deciding in the front of everybody to open it, causing the walls to spread up and divide the nation into threes. So obviously the mystery of, who this astronaut was is explained a lot later in the show, but yeah, well, not a lot later actually. It's
real early,
really early actually. That's
like 8, 9.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that has like a really early villain reveal, and luckily enough, this is like a consistent villain too. Like, because a lot of recent writer shows they kind of have these one-off villains or these villains that appear, but then they don't really do that much until like the very end. But this antagonist, he was consistent. But yeah, so. Opposing, Sento and Banjo initially was kind of like this underground group. I can't remember the exact name, but they were led Faust, yeah, like kind of like Felix Faust, the necromancer. But yeah, they were led by Night Rogue, whose turns out secret identity was Gentoku all along. The guy with the goatee. But then
trying to tell people say like, hey, we can go to my room later if you want to have a more interview.
Yeah. And then you find out like in his backstory things, he was a huge dork who loved karaoke. I mean, you guys like kind of dressed up as him right now, so it makes total sense. But yeah, Brokusatsu says he needs that build bike. Yeah, we all do if we want to get a Drill Crusher in our Build's hands, because that's the only way you could get the Drill Crusher and Build's hands, ironically.
The Crusher in your hands. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But, like alongside Night Rogue, we did have, here, I might as well just go to his Bloodstock.
Bloodstark, whatever you want to call him.
Bloodstock, Brad Stark.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. Bloodstark is one of my favorite villains in Kamen Rider.
Katsuragi Takumi built this in a cave with a box of scraps. Because
he is so cool.
Yeah, as you find out, that like Faust was initially started by this man known as Katsuragi Takumi, who built like a lot of their technology. He had developed a lot of different things, and then, well, we might as well just shift that into kind of the spoiler territory-ish.
I see what you did there, and I approve.
Well, we were talking about, is it Bloodstock or Bloodstark? So Katsuhagi Takumi is actually the true identity of Sento Kiryu.
Mhm.
What happened is that he kind of he grew conscience essentially. Like he was a genius who created like all these weapons and things for Faust, but he decided like I should stop this. So he tried to take on Bloodstock, but to no avail. The unfortunate the fun thing is that like this man with the face, with Sento's like his current face, can't remember his name. But he had somehow met with them, and then Stock switched their faces around.
Oh, I mean Satotaro?
Satotaro, yeah. The guy who's... I can't do the pose right now because I have the headphones
You mean
on.
you mean hold on.
He did the Dan Kuroto thing too. But but yeah, like he was the true identity of Sento. And funny enough, that the murder of Satotaro is what got pinned on Banjo.
Yeah.
It had been there, unfortunately, at the wrong time. But yeah, so that was kind of the big reveal. And then the other big reveal was that, our guy Bloodstock here was actually, because Seto and Banjo, there's a little like station was hidden under a cafe owned by, dang it, how am I, Soichi Isurugi?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this nice cafe owner with the brimmed hat, the sunglasses, very very nice. Who turned out to be the true identity of Bloodstock. Now his daughter Mizora happened to get a bracelet from Mars stuck on her wrist that for some reason that allowed her to kind of create the good foot models, purify them. We get a little bit more into her a bit later, but then we have Bloodstock's reveal, the betrayal, and then we get the first of Build's power-ups, the rabbit tank sparkling can, which I used to have. It's like, so when you pop the tab, it actually makes a little fizz noise, which is like, so satisfying.
Is it really?
Yeah,
it
does.
That's awesome.
Because I mean, you go from bottles to soda can, and then builds other forms of things.
The little pill things, and then
you get this chunker.
Oh crap!
Genius!
Hey Tommy, how you doing?
Oh yay!
Also,
But yeah,
Tommy.
so before we move on to the other characters from the other two regions, what were your guys' thoughts on the Toto community? So Banjo, Sento, Mizura, Soichi / Bloodstock, Gentoku, and then there's two other characters, but we'll talk about them in the Sato part of things. So, what were you guys' thoughts on those that cast of characters? Kind of like before the reveals, and then kind of as they were. Like,
to me, I loved them. Kind of love because it pretty much set the stage like their relationship overall, especially since with Banjo and Sento, they pretty much trying to have like that budding relationship. So pretty much they're like fighting against each other. Bondo was trying to be a free man, trying to make sure who blamed him for all of this. It was fun just to see like their dynamic, especially once all the twists start showing up. Getaku around that time, I didn't really like him that much because especially since he was like away from from the rest of the cast because he was doing Faust things at that time. But I love the main. I love that not the rabbit hatch. That's something different. I love the pretty much the whole cafe.
We talked Forza last time. Cafe Nasita.
Cafe Nasita. Because I don't know why I'm thinking rabbit hatch. Oh, because of Rabbit Tank. Never mind. That's the reason why. But I just love the cast, especially Banjo and Sento. Just like their relationship building up.
I mean, for me, I still say Ryuga is my favorite lovable idiot.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. He's more of a fighter and more impulsive than Joey Wheeler. And I mean that lovingly. There I am again with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Reference. But it's the closest thing that I can come up with. But no, I agree with Ron on everything except for one thing. I like Gentoku. He's like more serious at the beginning, than once he joins up with Banjo and the others, he just becomes more of like a goofball, and I love that.
He underwent Dan Kuroto syndrome,
and also
the super serious threat into the goofy character that a lot of people appreciate and a lot of people kind of didn't like, but like Gentaku though I felt like was more well liked than Boruto. His.
I will also say
the goofy shirts and things. But
I will also say, and since we're going full spoilers, I have no shame in saying this. I loved the reveal moment when they revealed that Banjo was part of Evil. I'm just like, what? Like, my mind exploded.
Mm-hmm.
So and the storyline for people who don't know, like we said, spoilers. Evil had possessed Soichi Tsurugi when he came back to Earth. Part of him split off, and Banjo's mother happened to be in that area. So Banjo is part Martian. Well, not Martian. He's actually a different race.
Yeah. He's a different race because the Martians don't even like Evil.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Like, he just got ostracized by like his entire like species. But also, going back to Gintoku for 1 second.
Is Evil Venom?
Yes. Yes, he is. Okay, he's legit slime.
So then, if Evil's Venom, then who's Carnage?
Banjo.
You're onto something. This is why we pay you the big bucks. That's what we're not paying you.
Wait, I get paid.
You get paid in memes and compliments.
Fun, I don't even get paid, and I run this show.
I don't get paid either. I co-run the show. But anyway, one thing I wanted to actually bring up was, what's your favorite? What's it called? Combination.
The best match.
What's your best match?
This big old thing with all it's filled in with all the bottles right now.
So Reggie, I actually have a question about collecting those, just because I'm curious about wrong things.
Yep.
Were any of those P Bandai?
No, actually, that I think about it.
I think the black and white ones were.
The black and white panels they were P Bandai. Of the full bottles, though, there were a couple that were magazine exclusive, a couple that were Gashapon, there was one in particular, Kuma, that you'd have to like mail in for. But luckily, To Collectibles, shout out to you guys. They got that one in. So I got it from them back then.
We love you, Marcus. Thank you. Thank you for giving us all toys, especially Reggie.
Let me pull off one. Oh, it's funny. I pulled out the.
Thank you for helping me out, Marcus, so much. You be helping me out too many times.
I pulled out the exact first panel. So, we have the basics, Gorillamon, Hawk Gatling, Nin Comic, and Rocket Panda. So basically this entire panel, is one of my favorite best matches. Especially Hawk Gatling, I think. Hawk Gatling and Nin Comic were my favorites.
Mm-hmm. I think mine is either between Wolf's smartphone, cell phone, and
Smartphone Wolf.
Smartphone Wolf. And then the second one, like a close second, is Key Dragon.
Oh yeah, Key Dragon.
I mean, for me, Key Dragon's up there. Gorillamon's up there. My favorite one is actually Hawk Gatling. I'll tell you why. It's orange and black, and I'm a sucker for like black and gold, as Ron saw before we started, and I showed off my Gingayo.
Oh man!
As well as I'm just a fan of like black and red in general, like Red Eyes Black Dragon, one of my favorites. But when it comes to what that form did, like it could fly and also have like a handy little Gatling gun. Close second for me is, like I said, Gorillamon, but my third favorite is actually what's it called? Hedgehog Fire?
Ooh,
Fire Hedgehog, yeah.
Fire Hedgehog. Oh my god. That was so beautiful. Oh, since we're doing thirds, I got a third one, Nin Comic.
Yeah, Nin Comic.
Those Lakers colors, man. Those Lakers colors.
I love this season. I hope the Knicks beat the Lakers.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Anyway, Reggie, look.
Can't stand LeBron.
These are heavy.
I'm happy that like Bill's getting like new figure releases, like Nin Comic. I remember Reggie and I talked about this on what was like episode 1 of the show.
Yeah.
And we were surprised by that. Like, if they do Fire Hedgehog, I might need to buy that.
I unfortunately had to. Well, I didn't cancel my pre-order. I found somebody else to take it over though, because it was just like too close in the month. But eventually, I'll pick it up because like you said, Vaughn, Ninden comic, beautiful form.
Ninden comic.
I mean, it's yellow. Oh, it's purple.
Purple and yellow.
Yeah, it's a really great color scheme. And like it also represents another character, which we'll talk about a little later. But yeah, so for these guys, well, I mean, you guys saw I pulled out Pandora's box, and I pulled out a panel. So Pandora's box, there's different panels that reside in the different areas. So you have green for Toto, you have blue for Hokuto, and then you have the red for Seito. So, but yeah, reason why I kind of skipped over two other characters, well, like is because of how they're aligned in these group things. But I mean, let's kind of go into Hokuto now, which is actually the home of Kamen Rider Greece, Kazumi Sawatari.
Sawatari.
Potato Boy.
Potato Man.
Also known as Dark Eva.
I'll tell you.
Ixa.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, it was really great to see that guy again as a Kamen Rider, as like his because when you think about it, yeah, he was technically in his original show as Otoya. He was a legacy character, like he was because Jiro was the first Ixa, right? And then he became Ixa as in 1986. Yeah, and then he was, as we mentioned, he was the eventual Dark Kiva. So this is his own writer. Hokuto had managed to find, Seito or Sento's, data on the Splash Driver, and they made their own robot in Greece.
I will say this much: out of the belts in Build, I'm not a fan of the Splash Driver.
It's very limited.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you really only have 3 riders that use it. And then when you try to use another bottle, it'll just say, like, attack or something. Like, I don't own one. I'm supposed to, but that deal kind of fell through.
Yeah, I got one as a Christmas gift from my roommate, actually. And it was, I was surprised that he actually gave it to me. I didn't know he was going to give me a Kamen Rider or anything. But I like it a lot. I like it so much I had to get the crocodile bottle. So
I want the crocodile crack bottle.
I used to have it, but yeah, the collection. Like it was either keep the figure art or keep the bottle. And I like my figures, so
I do.
But yeah, so aside from Kazumi, Hokuto has its own little trio of goofballs that go along with him, former workers from his farm, the Hokuto Crows, as they call it, which they're basically also like experimented on humans that can use like their own bottles, but instead they transform into themselves. They don't use a driver or anything. So you have the Castle Smash, you have the Hercules Beetle Smash, and then you have the Owl Smash. So these are all they're all really close, with Kazumi. And you find out from Kazumi that he's not that stoic of a general kind of guy. After all, he's a huge fan of idols. Who happens to be Mizora, which we kind of glanced over. But Mizora is essentially a net idol on her spare time. So Kazumi is a huge fan of her, a little too huge of a fan of her.
He's a simp.
I love Kazumi. I love Kazumi as a character, but I just mentally checked out anytime he would see Mizora and just be like, "Date me, love me."
Because I mean, I think that they mention at least Kazumi's age. He's 29, so he's actually a year older than I am. Apologies, but I don't think they ever. I think they kind of glanced over how old Mizora is supposed to be. But
we know that she's not in high school. That's a good thing. We know that she's not in high school. That would have been weird.
Yeah, and then
Mizora's according to the writer wiki, Mizora's 19.
So kind of weird. But
never mind, that is weird.
but beyond that, Kazumi is obviously the first rider outside of Banjo and Sento that they encounter. Around that time, Banjo switches over to a Splash Driver because what was actually his? I can't remember his rider name as Cross Charge, which was a weird kind of name.
I still say the best form of Cross is Magma.
Because of that, hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Mom will be right back.
So how about the weather? Yeah.
Punch.
I had to. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine, man. But yeah, so obviously they're the first, they're the first of the nations to kind of butt heads with Toto, and around that time was also when Sento was kind of working on the hazard switch, or the hazard trigger. Hazard switch. Now you're making me think of Forza. The hazard trigger, and then that's where we got our first kind of look at tragedy there when Sento inadvertently had killed one of the crows. So that was it was devastating for Sento because when he destroyed Smashes in the past, he freed the host, but these individuals, they willingly transform themselves, so they are essentially the monster. So, and as they kept getting those nebula gas intakes, they raise up their hazard levels. They become more susceptible to actually dying from their transformations. So. That was a huge turning point for Sento because I took another person's life. I don't deserve to be a fighter of love and peace like I claim to be. And then evil or Bloodstalk comes out of and just kind of taunts him into fighting him, and then you kind of have the competition between Hokuto and Toto, where eventually he gains kind of more control over Hazard in a way, but not entirely. But he still manages to beat out Grease and kind of secure the victory for Toto. And then that's when Sato decides to attack. So, but yeah, Hokuto, the group though, Kazumi and the three crows. What were your guys' thoughts on those guys?
So it's like I said, I like Kazumi. I thought that at first I wasn't gonna like him, and I warmed up to him kind of quickly. I still say one of the best fights in the show is when Sento uses Hazard, and it's the night battle, and
on the tower.
Yeah, and then you see him fight Kazumi. I'm just like, this fight's actually badass. Why don't we have more nighttime fights in Rider?
Money,
lighting.
As far as the crows go, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like the Smash designs. It's so weird with me because I'm very particular as to the Kaijin suits that I like. Like my favorite monster designs are Blade, because obviously undead. The Imagine from Deno and the Zodiarts from Forza. But the characters themselves seemed okay. I like that they all had a history with Kazumi, so when they died, it hit not only Kazumi very hard, it also hit us because we've seen them interact with Sento and the gang over the course of a couple of episodes. So you felt very attached to them, and once they died, it's just I'm actually upset. I'm gonna miss them.
Yeah, especially when Red the Castle Smash, when he died, his because that was basically all Kazumi had left.
That was it. That was pretty sad too. But yeah, I like the whole group, especially the fourth one that showed up in that one special that was in between them in the show. I think it was they all had dog tags. So
Yeah.
So pretty much he tried to get all the single dog. He's the one. I think he's the one that made the dog tags for the group. So
Yeah.
that was really cool. But other than that, I liked them all as a like an individual group. Cause you can tell like they weren't evil. They were doing this because they were trying to do it for like some money and stuff like that. They weren't evil people. They were just
trying to save the farm.
Yeah, trying to save the farm, trying to do some good things. So it would hurt me when they all just died, especially how it affects Sento when he had to kill the first one. It was just, man, that has a trigger. Man, that's a ridiculous form.
Yeah.
I never want to fight that form ever. So
correct hazard. But yeah, obviously, like we mentioned, the death of the yellow. I can't remember his member of like Tori's gonna kill me for not knowing that. But the yellow member, his death was caused, of course, by our next group that we're going to talk about, Saito, the more militaristic, more kind of a dictatorship, led under by like it was a Namba corporation, right? Yeah. So we've learned from there that they actually had sleeper agents within different areas because Namba would take children and kind of like indoctrinate them, brainwash them, which also is why we're going to be talking now about one of the characters that we should have mentioned earlier, Sala. She was a close friend of the group. She was like a reporter.
Yeah.
She was turned into the Octopus Smash at one point. And she kind of solidified herself as a member of the group, but it turned out that she was the mole, essentially, in the group. Kind of feeding the information to Namba because of the loyalty that was engraved into her. And the other character who happened to be there is Utsumi, who I call Utsumi because of that's a spoiler for what happens later on. But yeah, he was kind of like he was the underling for Gentoku, essentially. And then as a scapegoat situation, Gentoku's identity as Night Rogue was not revealed. He shot Utsumi, and Utsumi fell to what we thought was his death. Funny enough, when Gentoku was exiled, the person who found him was Utsumi. So Utsumi kind of has this hold over Gentoku as Gentoku transforms into Kamen Rider Rogue. Yes, another easy way to just do the name, take out the knight. But you got this nice, beautiful purple suit with a crocodile crack lines.
So beautiful.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like.
Oh no, go ahead. I'll say my thing.
Okay, and aided by, or kind of assigned to help Gentoku in his mission to take down Toto, are the Hell Bros, whose names I can't even remember. That's how memorable. That's how memorable those guys are. But they use the gear and Rubicon kind of like
I know them
photos with the Nebula Gap.
I actually believe I have the page up. But what I wanted to say was two things about Gentoku's Kamen Rider Rogue suit. First, I love the jingle. It reminds me of Jaws. It reminds me of Jaws, but also I love how I think it was in the first couple of episodes we saw the Rogue suit. Behind the helmet there was that red like danger sticker.
Yeah, the fragile. Yeah. It's also present on the figure art.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I mean, he's unfortunately like it's far back up the shelf, so I'd have to get up, grab it. I don't want you guys to see my butt, so I'm wearing shorts.
But what I was gonna say though, honestly, is I have the names of the Hellbros up. We have Fu Washio and Rai Washio. Fu was
supposed to be like Fu. Why?
Fu Rai means wing in Japanese.
Yeah, so Fu and Rai, so they're kind of supposed to be like Fujin and Raijin.
I know, but still, who?
Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Who?
But I think I remember them more because one of the suit actors that did play on one of the Hell Bros did pass away while filming, so that's how I remember.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, one of the suit actors for the Hell Bros did pass away from it.
One of the suit actors?
Yeah, one of them. I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing that. That's the thing.
Yeah, so of course, with Sato's attack, they kind of pull on another kind of tournament thing. So you have, Kazumine against the engine, bro. Then you have Banjo supposed to fight against, the remote bro, but then he does. I mean, do you have him, Vaughn? Do you have the nebulous steam gun?
I don't. I really didn't want it when I heard it. I'm like, there's no point in me getting this.
Fair enough. But, it goes gear engine, gear Romacon, missed match,
funky spike.
I got Kokon. What?
Midnight Shadow. Start your engine. But yeah, so you get one of the funniest moments of the show though is like, Banjo just sees the transformation, he just goes like, the soul. and that's how the episode ends. Because it's just unbelievable that he's all set, like, okay, it's essentially a one-on-one, but then like he's fighting on a guy with double the power. So that's one of the things that kind of disappointed me about the Hell Bros though, is that only the one that had the longer hair, was that Fu or was that Rai?
That was Phil.
Yeah, the only Fu did the Hell Bros combination. Like Rai never did it. Like,
because what's it called? Because Fu has the coconut head from the classified hair.
But then again, they only had one. They only had to repaint one. So
yeah, but I mean, like, if they just let him hand the gun and then also do the combination, because every time afterward you only see Fu use it. Use the actual Hellbro suit, and then you just have like yeah. So they're fighting, that causes they kill the Yellow Crow, and then later on they fight and kill the Red Crow, and then that's the whole tournament setup, which is like what we eventually lead into Sento fully taking control of the hazard trigger with rabbit tank. The weird long bottle. But then of course it reveals that Namba, he's the main antagonist. Well, he's the main antagonist at that point alongside Evolt, because they're kind of like in this alliance thing. And then that's when they kind of get into more into Evolt. Like, well, Evolt, we're saying Evolt, Bloodstalk. Bloodstalk is Evolt. That's the true identity of Bloodstalk. So it's like Shoichi. That's kind of actually where the twist is. Really, is that Shoichi is possessed rather than all these are his actions. Because that's kind of the thought was that originally Shoichi was Bloodstalk of his own will, but then you find out that he's actually possessed, and the whole reason why the bottles are the way they are is because he kind of probed the mind of like Shoichi of like what kills what kind of deal, which is why we get these hilarious things like, oh yeah, a tank can kill a rabbit. Well, of course a tank can kill a rabbit. A rocket can kill a panda. A comet can kill a ninja. Like, how does a comet kill a ninja? So these
nobody knows
these really random combinations, but yeah. So obviously we have those guys, but your thoughts on the Sato group?
They're okay. It's they're okay because of the two, but Gentoku pretty much is the main person in the group. And I like This is the point where I started liking Gentoku, because that's also the point where we start getting the rogue specials as well. So we get more about like what happened when he got exiled and everything else, and also what happened, and also the formation of Faust as well. So I started to like him more because we will start getting a lot more content about him after that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Vaughn. Like, the best part was Gentoku. Like, Furai was pretty cool. Give Gentoku. Gentoku just hams it up after he becomes redeemed and he just joins the group. Like, I had the biggest smile on my face because the first time we saw him like actually cooperate with the riders, he ripped his like jacket up and to reveal like the purple shirt with a pun on it. I'm just like, I'm done. I love this character.
And he has a little like fashion show sequence.
Yes.
But yeah, like we mentioned, Evolve takes more of the antagonistic, approach, and the show, like he gets a hold of, is it the black? It's the evil trigger, eventually, and well, actually, first he gets his evil driver back, and then that's when this is the main turning point for Gentoku to join back up with the good guys. Is that you reveal, like, Gentoku kind of reveals that the whole reason why he was doing this is that way he can, when he takes control of, if he takes control of all the nations, he'll give that to his father, because that's who he feels is the most appropriate person. The unfortunate thing is, though, is that Rogue ends up fighting the newly formed Kamen Rider Evil with like this really badass design, and unfortunately, to save his son, Gentoku's father jumps in front of the attack, and we lose him. So that was kind of the turning point for Gentoku to kind of redeem himself and start becoming the hero that his father knew he could be. But then, Evil was trying to make himself 100% complete. So this is when we get kind of the Banjo reveal, and he ends up possessing Banjo and becomes phase 1 or phase 2 Evil Dragon.
Such a beautiful suit.
Such a beautiful suit.
Oh yes.
Of course,
Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Oh, I was about to. Oh, sorry. I was about to say, because when I got first revealed or leaked, I was trying to figure out how they're going to do this this dragon form and this rabbit form, but then I also realized, like, oh, that's how we're going to do it. So
yeah, the evil bottles. So like we mentioned, like Bloodstock, obviously the main motif here is Cobra possesses Banjo, unfortunately, and becomes phase 2 dragon. And then in a weird twist, after he fights, or Sento beats Evil as phase 2, he possesses Sento and becomes phase 3. And I like the whole thing. I was like, this is like kind of not what I expected. So his bottle is rabbit. And then this is the point where like where the riders are kind of united. They fight against Evil, trying to snap Sento out of it. And I think at that point, is that the point where Banjo managed to get a hold of the dragon Evil bottle? Or is that after?
I think, yeah.
And then it became a different bottle, and then it also became a different form for him as well.
Yeah, Great Cross Dragon. Oh, we completely glanced out over the fact that was like after the point where Banjo got magma. Yeah, because they went into this weird tower thing, and Banjo is all like, I can make my own destiny thing, and the splash jelly becomes the magma bottle, and yeah, he just gets this awesome, super badass form that he can literally take his transformation gimmick and just punch you with it.
Yeah. I didn't have to.
Cross magma. But yeah, so
I will
the
say
unfortunate thing.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to just touch on Evil for a second. There are no bad forms of that suit.
There really are none. Nope.
Everything.
The only bad form of Evil is well, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, so at that point, he forms the Evil trigger and becomes phase 4 Black Hole Evil. This nice, like it's basically like the lower body of this suit, but then the upper body is white. The centerpiece is white. His eyes are white.
He transforms in a black hole.
Yeah, he's his most powerful as a rider in that form. And then that's when he decides to kill Namba. Essentially, like, I don't need you anymore. And he, like, Utsumi, Utsumi and the Hell Bros are all like, the Hell Bros are like, they fight against, and first one dies already, and then Fu is the only one that's left over. Fu dies in the fight against Evil. And then at that point, like, Utsumi is like holding on to Namba's cane, and he's all like, yeah, I'm gonna join you, and it's just the meme of breaking it over his knee. And Evol's so impressed by that he actually makes a second Evil driver and gives it to it's me, and we get Kamen Rider Mad Rogue, whose picture I did not pull up. But essentially, it's this nice repaint of Night Rogue, by like the engine design, because he uses the bat and the engine full bottles. So Mad Rogue gives us, like our other antagonist for the group, and like as Evol's enforcer, as Evil starts to kind of destroy / take over the world. But at that point, beforehand, we had, they were kind of revealed what Mizora's bracelet was actually about. Queen Vernage of Mars. So, the whole reason why she was able to, create / purify these full bottles and, like, have these kind of unique powers / when she kind of just blacks out is because she's actually possessed by the Queen of Mars, who had already encountered Evil previously. And, like, she admits that, it was kind of like Mars' fault in the first place. They were tempted by the box and they, they can't destroy themselves.
I love the fact that we had a similar situation, and I know Reggie hasn't either. Ron, have you seen Ryukendo?
Yeah. Go.
So the reason why I bring that up is because I love the fact that they had to rely on her to, fully refine the full bottles in the same way that they had to have that one dude whose name currently escapes me refine the Madon keys so that they could unlock new forms and new toys for kids to buy. I mean, new forms to beat the manga.
Kendo so much. I miss it so much.
I gotta finish it. Reggie, please watch Ryukendo.
If I end up not being able to in time, if you want to do a Ryukendo episode, Gary, you are free to take my spot.
Ryukendo.
Oh, I cannot wait. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point I was trying to make was I love the fact that everybody on the team felt like they had a purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact that like I said, they needed to rely on her to do the full bottles. And I love how Ryuga was the muscle, Sento was the brains, and then you have Gentoku and Kazumi there for eye candy. Because let's be real here. Gentoku pulls off a goatee better than most people.
Gary, let's just face it, the entire protagonist group was eye candy.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of female fans love Build. They loved him. Every single one of them.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You were thinking about those Build boys.
I mean, listen. Ryuga Banjo has excellent hair.
They do. They
all have excellent hair. I mean, the Sento needs to grow it out more. So he's still kind of like in the bowl cut situation.
But the issue with Sento was that I know that his actor, he has very curly hair, so they had to
straighten it
all the time. They had to straighten it all the time.
They just kept it curly, man. Come on. But yeah, like, we kind of get when we get into the end game situation of things, though. Like, this is at this point, the Hokuto prime minister, she's turned into a smash and like is killed, or I think they fight and then she dies. Gentoku and Kazumi's hazard levels are raised to like almost their complete max, so they're in danger of, if they transform and lose their transformation, they can die. Obviously, Banjo still having like kind of a remnant of Evolt within him. Like there's a risk of that. And then Sento just he wants to be able to save the world and protect things. So they all go and try to fight against evil, and they're separated like kind of like how most video games are like the boss tiers and things like that. So Kazumi is unfortunately confronted with smashed copies of the Crows. So like in this moment though, like Sento was working on another full bottle set with a knuckle, the Blizzard knuckle. I don't have that one anymore, I really should have kept that for this episode first. But and originally he intended it for Banjo, but then he modified the powers for Kazumi to use it. But you know, at that point, like if Kazumi and Gentoku had not been captured by the antagonist group and were not raised to their hazard level, it would have been safe for him to use. But you know, it presented the risk. But of course, you know, like he wants everybody to keep moving forward. So he uses it at least in the knuckle formation. And then, we completely glanced over. Let's rewind back. So another reveal that we find out is that Sento's father, who was thought to be dead / missing, is alive, working with Evolt. And that's where we get the Nin comic form. Is like that's his primary, build best match for him, because he makes his own build driver, and then he's fighting with Sento, but eventually it's revealed that dear old dad is also kind of fighting to protect the world. He was just trying to learn more about Evolt's plan in a way, but yeah. So his build driver eventually is like taken by Kazumi. Like they don't know like where the build driver is missing. And that's when Kazumi transforms into Grease Blizzard.
Are you ready?
One of the most badass moments of the show.
God.
Say
I think at this point I'm gonna make it a yearly tradition to rewatch all of Build, because I watched Build a couple months ago, minus the movie, because we're gonna do the movie another time. And honestly, that part of Kazumi using the Blizzard Knuckle, I was just like, you have just been redeemed in my eyes, sir. Congratulations.
His first ever rider form has his actor's first ever rider form involved a knuckle. And no, he has another knuckle.
He did?
ED.
Oh, right. Who's he?
Keep
in mind, I haven't watched beyond episode 3 of Kiva.
Oh, you need to watch more Kiva.
You need to watch more Kiva, man. Let's see. X-Aid Coast. Okay, you have a lot of time before we get to our Kiva episode, but
right now my main focus is watching X-Aid for next week, and then watching Drive.
If we go back to our regularly scheduled, once a month discussions, Kiva might actually land on October next year. So that would be perfect. Spoopy, yes. But yeah, so Kazumi's staying on that floor. He's fighting off against, the Hokuto Crows. Then they go to the next floor. Gentoku fights copies of the Hell Bros and Mad Rogue. And then that's when Mad Rogue kind of reveals that, yeah, he's also been playing evil, or trying to play evil in a way. Because, as revenge for Namba death. So they fight. The unfortunate thing at the bottom floor is that Kazumi, because of his hazard level, like, he exhausts himself to the point that he starts to fade away. And we get that kind of sad moment of, Mizora like hugging him and finally like saying his name. That was just like,
that was real sad.
Devastating. But luckily, like in the fight with in the next floor, the fight with, Gentoku, Itsumi, and the Hellbro copies, Itsumi sacrifices himself in that fight and just allows Gentoku to go up with the rest of the group. So, the rest of the group reunites, but then they realize that Kazumi's missing, and that's when we have that sad moment. And then Evolt, of course, comes up, ruins it. They fight.
Yo.
Yeah, they fight, and Gentoku essentially exhausts himself. But, like, at least, doesn't he, like, what was his last words again, Vaughn, if you remember?
It's been a while, so I don't know the words by heart.
But it's also a sad moment though, because I think that he was kind of like saying like, "Am I like the hero now?" Like that.
Yeah, and he had his cracked visor, and then I like the imagery that they had, because when you're looking at the shadow when you look at the scene and you see him Gentoku fall, you see the shadow of Rogue as well. So pretty much you see him out of suit, like in person, but looking at the shadow, you see Rogue in the shadow. I'm like, that's crazy. That's some imagery right there.
Yeah, true writer. And then of course, final battle thing. Banjo is kind of like, isn't Banjo like kind of reabsorbed into Evolt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just Sento alone, and he gets the Rabbit Dragon trial form, CGI only like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's the boy love combo because they love each other. They're lovers. That's why that combo
Oh
exists.
God, you're right.
Romance.
It's the BL form.
They're a canon couple.
Yeah,
Let's just face it.
Did we just have a moment, Reggie?
What? So when this fight is happening, though, what Vaughn mentioned earlier with the panels, there's a black and a white panel. So the black panel is Evolt's panel. That's what he used to create his hazard trigger, his Evolt trigger. While the white panel is created by Sento and their group, and that's what they're going to use to kind of destroy Evolt. So putting all of those specialized bottles, into that panel, like all the lost bottles, essentially into those panels, we're going to create a convergence and create a world, or combine a world with Evolt with a world without Evolt, and then that convergence was going to destroy Evolt once and for all. So they eventually do that. Of course, the worlds have remerged. Sento, he's in this new combined world. Like nobody knows who he is. Like everything's normal though. There's no Pandora's box. There's no walls. Like he goes to Nashita and they think that he's Sato Taro because of his face. And then like he's just wandering around, and then it turns out that Banjo, like our Banjo, managed to land on that world as well. Which is funny because on that world there is already a Banjo with Banjo's girlfriend. And he's all like, "Yeah, I saw another me," and he has different colored hair. And then it turns out that the entire time, or like as they ride off, into the sunset, that the entire time that Sento has been talking was actually, or in the beginning of the episodes, was just him actually recording the events of what happened, which I think was like a really cool way to end the series.
I like that too, but one of the things that we forgot to mention was I love the fact that Ryuga felt like he had to like get revenge for his girlfriend because she got turned into a smash early on.
Yeah, which is actually what people pointed out with Banjo's suit is because like the bottle that eventually came out of Banjo's girlfriend's purified bottle was dragon. So when he transforms, and like they get that cool the display thing that goes all around them, the snap ride builder that just goes around them, like. And you see the dragon, like the wings form his chest piece, right? It's like symbolic of his girlfriend giving him a hug from behind, like it's embracing him.
So, yeah, you're right.
So yeah, Banjo's powered by his girlfriend, and the belt built by his boyfriend.
Yep.
Yeah.
So no matter what, all his gear is built by love.
Yep. Which is what kind of helps him kind of keep onto his humanity. Even as a piece of Evolt, like he wants to do what's right. So, but yeah, that was the series itself. Like we just got done with discussing the series itself. But we mentioned our favorite, kind of like our favorite best matches. But of the suit designs in general, like which were your favorites?
Hazard, anything. I'm not a fan of Genius.
But oh yay!
Oh yay!
No, I think that what kind of detracts from Genius is the fact that his what people were probably kind of hoping for was that the bottles on the suits would actually have the details of the bottles rather than being the blank bottles, just different colors.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. Like, you see like on top of his head, you see the rabbit in the tank bottle and then like all the other ones. Because there's 60 full bottles, Gary. There's 60 full bottles. So
there's 60?
Yes.
60 main full bottles. Keep in mind.
Main.
So each panel contains 10, and then there's 6 panels. So the bright side, though, Gary, if you do decide to collect, is that the sets have kind of reduced in price. That
or you can do what they're doing for Gun right now, and just release them as a CSM set soon.
Let me tell you something. It's like I said earlier. I can't invest in another rider line for 3 reasons. One, I got burned by Ghost.
But yes, is it.
Second, yeah, if Dresden watches this is part of the reason why I'm not on the Ghost episode 2 in a couple of weeks. It's because I can't stand Ghost. Ghost.
Yeah, I've got Carl, I've got Sono, I've got Dresden, I've got Carl's friend whose name escapes me. But they are all Ghost fans. So,
And I just want to say from the bottom of that thing, my chest, thank you guys for covering for me because the fact that I can't get through Ghost.
I hate Ghost. I just can't. I can watch it. I hate it still. So
no.
The second reason why I can't afford to get into the build line is because I have no room.
It grew for me. Like it's not like one of my top series, but it still kind of grew for me though.
Speaking about Rider, I want to talk about Revice. I've seen the first 3 episodes.
Ooh.
Well, we can talk about that after
okay.
we close out because I mean,
Okay.
you guys want to hang around. But yeah, guys. Yeah, like we've been talking for like an hour and 11 minutes.
I'll say this much though. What did you think of the theme song? Because Be the One took a minute to grow on me.
Yes.
No. Okay, hold on. I listen to Be the One every single day. I listen to Be the One when I work out all the time. Be the One, when I first heard it, for some reason I was the only one that liked it. And then when I just kept on listening to it, I loved it. It's Beverly. Beverly has an amazing voice, and I love that song to death. And I love the English version too. So I can say that Be the One is pretty much my go-to song for every day. I need to listen to Be the One before I start the day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more or less I still listen to Rider music. Obviously, I love the Blade. Any Blade song I love. Gaim, Kuga, Agitobu, so on and so forth. But Be the One has a special place in my heart. I haven't listened to any of the other build songs except for Be the One.
I listened to a few of them. I listened to a few of them, especially the one that's sung by Kronos, Kamen Rider Kronos. He does a remix for his song for Cross Magma. Burning My Soul. He did the remix for Burning My Soul.
Nice. But yeah, Be the One. I also like the fact Beverly is isn't she Japanese, but she was raised in the Philippines?
Yeah, she talks it. I've seen an English interview that she did a couple times.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's why I like her. But yeah, she has a really great voice. Be the One is definitely a song that if it's on, you've got to add it to your playlist.
Be the one, be the one.
I bought the English version for that reason. I actually bought a Japanese song.
I forgot I don't have the CD anymore. I was gonna pull it out. Funny enough, though, Be the One was the only the Be the One CD was the only way to get Dog Mike.
Yeah,
right.
It was. See, that's how they get you.
Yeah, a lot of these full bottles were all of these full bottles were either just 2-piece sets, or some of them came with Haru Nezumi actually came with the Drill Crusher. Sojiki came with the side holder. So my build driver was actually a gift from my sister and my brother-in-law when they went to Japan for their honeymoon. So
I'm jealous.
No, I thought their honeymoon was the Kimiwaza slot holder for from Xaid. That was their the build driver was their 1-year anniversary. Was where they got the build driver set for me. Oh, but nice. So you had that fire came a couple of the panels came with individual bottles. So the unfortunate thing though is that if you wanted to get 2 of each, you'd have to get the same bottle again. So luckily I found somebody that took on the bottles, though, the spares one. So I mean, except for fire, I still have the spare fire bottle. But Yeah, though that was like the Gary. If you ever want to get into it, though, like I said, aftermarket, since the build bottles don't really do much outside of shake, shake, shake,
Yeah.
and little twist, you can find them typically for anywhere from 300 to 800 per set of yen.
Right now, the thing, I have a couple of Tokyo goals, Kawaii by the end of next year or the year after. I want to complete Ultimate Daiboken. I need to go to Sentai Fire's house and steal his black and gold Ultimate Daiboken.
No, don't worry. I need to go there first because he owes me for a lot of stuff.
Five, I'm kidding. I love you, but
I'll be pulling up and then just Five just looks in his room. He's like, "Where did everything go?"
He gonna blame me first, so that's fine.
Yeah. Five, we need to get to another episode. We need to have an official Legion of Boom Bugz2Men crossover.
That would be.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna see some slander against me.
But
oh boy.
Getting back to my Tokyo goals, I asked this during. Oh, there's actually a bit of Rider news I wanted to bring up that they announced yesterday. So can CSM build driver Tommy? Yes, hi. I'm not logged in, so I can't highlight it. But Tommy in the chat says CSM build driver when. Whenever my wallet says no.
Don't say no. Just buy more.
Speaking of that, hold on.
Oh God. Stop. But no. So they revealed yesterday that they're. I thought SDCC already happened, but apparently it's happening in November. They're doing a showing of real time of 01 real time, and that's coming to Tokusatsu in January as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was the main news that they brought up in the Team Rider panel. Originally, they were going to bring it up they were actually going to bring it up at NYCC or talk about it, but of course, those guys are stationed in Anaheim, so they couldn't.
They're in Anaheim.
Yeah, they're in Anaheim. Yeah.
See, I figured that they were situated in LA. I didn't know they were in.
Yeah, if you ever order from Bluefin, that's where their stuff comes from. I've actually seen their building a couple of times. I keep saying I should just drop by you guys one day.
Yeah, you should say hi. You should say hi. Be like, hey.
Hey, so when are we getting more O stuff brought over?
Yes.
Hey.
I mean, David though, he's gonna say more Gaim. I mean, luckily for him, it's literally just more Gaim coming out.
When we get to the Gaim episode for this show, we need to get David and Chris on, right?
The unfortunate thing about I've already, because I tried to get David on for the Geo episode,
right.
But he says that he's busy Saturdays. So if we do it, we may have to ask him if we can do a Sunday episode.
That's fair.
But,
my God, no! But just getting back to Rider's in a really good place right now, guys. Revice is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Their Shin Kamen Rider stuff got revealed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I need to figure out of that.
Nice.
I'm excited to see what Hideaki Anno does with it because I've seen Shin Godzilla. Let me tell you something. That movie messed me up.
Ooh, one thing too is that we're getting some Kamen Rider Black Sun news next month too. So,
Black Sun.
Yeah, because they just announced the crew on it, and one of the main director for Ultraman Z is the special effects director. So it should look beautiful. But we get our first look of it probably November 21st, which is actually my birthday. So happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday in advance.
see your reward for your birthday is getting Kamen Rider Black Sun news,
which is fine. I love Kamen Rider Black.
My birthday present from Konami last year was them saying, "Hey, we're getting new Cyber Dragon support," and then I quit Yu-Gi-Oh again. So it's hey guys, look, new Cyber Dragon, Cyber Dark Dragon fusion. Yeah, I'm done. So anyway,
I think you try to pull you in and out, but yeah, guys. So I think we have gone over our time, but like everybody that has been watching, sticking on. Thanks for watching.
Sorry
Really,
for the hiatus. Like I said, I had to adult.
you didn't have to adult. You had to party.
Man,
I mean, when we're done recording, I have a story or two for you guys.
All right.
Okay.
But yeah, guys.
I ate a lot of good food. That's what happened. Chicken and waffles and ribs are now forever ruined for me.
Chicken and waffles.
Man, you're making me hungry. Like I got up at 4 this morning. I cooked my folks some breakfast, and then I just.
What did it for?
I don't know. Like I could not get back to sleep, man. So I was just like, my parents are gonna go down to. They're actually on their way down to see my sister in Anaheim right now. So I made them breakfast before, before they got up. I went out, watered the plants for Ma, so she didn't have to.
That's good.
That's nice. Look at you. I'm happy.
And then as soon as I got back inside though, my dad gave me his plate. It was just like, nah, I don't like. I had tater tots, I had eggs, I had bacon on it, and he's like, I can't do it right now. Like, you can have it. Like, are you sure? Like, I scooped some stuff onto like his other plate. I was like, here, you at least eat that. You're driving, but yeah. So guys, Vaughn, man, thank you for being on this episode. Thanks for being on, Vaughn. It was. I really gotta get you on another episode. When we do the O's episode, for sure, man. You're on here.
Oh, you have to put me on that one.
Yeah, my bro.
Yeah,
bros. We're bros, man. All right, but yeah, Vaughn, where can the people that are watching find you at?
People can find me on Twitter at Mr. Cooper92. People can find me on YouTube at Mr. Cooper92. I know I haven't been posting a lot of YouTube videos recently, but don't worry, that's going to change soon. I got a lot of stuff coming up. A lot of toys that's coming up as well. So yeah. And then I'm on TikTok at Mr. Cooper 992 because somebody already has 92 on there for some reason. So yeah.
Well, they can't handle you. For me, Twitter.com/gbase93, YouTube.com/gbase93. I'm gonna come back and do videos because it's football season. I got a lot of thoughts on the Jets, and yeah, I'm trying not to buy as much, but as you can see. It's not helping.
I'm looking at the packages right now. They're saying, you're funny.
But yeah, guys, me, Drew KRO is on Twitter. I have not put up any new review episodes since I think April of last year. Not April of last year, January of this year, on my True KRO review channel. But I really got to get back into that. I mean, I've gotten so many new figures since then, and like a lot of people, curious, so it's like I need to make more videos on that channel. But until then, guys, next time, like I said, next Saturday is supposed to be Kamen Rider X8. So Gary, watch it. Or I'm gonna ask Dresden to be the co-host again.
Dresden can come on with us again.
He keeps asking me like, "Hey, I send you a resume," and just.
I convinced Dresden doesn't actually like me.
He just wants your job, man. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace out, Treads.